It is a very early Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. We're going to be hitting the road here, heading out to Orange County this morning, and I wanted to get this video up before I left. Again, it's very, very early. Markets have not opened. Last I checked, Dow futures down. Also, the Australian Central Bank just raised their interest rate by 50 basis points. Kind of a surprise to everybody, but we are going to begin to see a lot of surprises take place. And one thing we're seeing, we are seeing more central banks throughout the world beginning to raise interest rates. I want to address something before we dig down a little deeper into this video this morning. There are people that watch these videos, they may watch other people's videos, and they call people like myself a doom and gloomer, negative, fear-mongering, etc. We have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in a spiritual war. And there's a lot of people out there making videos, and there's just certain things they never talk about. There is good and there is evil, and we are seeing a lot of evil right now. This is a spiritual war, and you have got to get right. And these people who say, well, these videos are repetitive, they're very negative, you're very pessimistic, I want all of you to remember this. The devil always says, you can do it tomorrow. Don't worry about it today. You can do it tomorrow. God says, do it today. And to the people out there that think it's negativity, I just think it's reality. I mean, if you ask me how the weather is, and I look out the door and I go, well, it's thundering, it's raining, it's a terrible day. I'm just reporting the weather. I'm just telling you reality. Do I wish it was sunny with fluffy white clouds and rainbows and teddy bears? Yes, but it's not. It's raining. We have massive dark clouds coming in. But you know, if you read the Bible a little bit, and I don't want to get religious on people. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a minister. I'm not a prophet. But you know, the Bible and Christ. If you read the Bible and you read about what Christ was saying, he spoke more about hell and the darkness of hell than he did heaven. Why is that? Because he doesn't want you going there. Now, I'm by no means comparing myself to Christ, but I don't want you to go there, and I don't want you to go hungry. And that's why I make these videos. Yes, we are heading into some very dark, concerning, treacherous times. And you've got to get strong physically, financially, and spiritually. And this is the real world, and we got to talk about what's really happening and where this is all going. And again, I don't want you going to hell, just like Christ didn't want you going to hell, but I don't want you to go hungry. I don't want your family to go hungry. So we got to talk about this stuff, and the only way to prepare for what's coming is to be awake and aware to what is coming so that we can prepare. When we become concerned of a problem, well, that's when we take action, right? When we know that a tsunami's coming, a hurricane, a tornado, we take action and we do what we have to do to get out of the way and prepare for the storm. Again, the devil says, don't worry about it, prepare tomorrow, just have fun and party today. God says, ladies and gentlemen, you better get ready today. And that's exactly what he told Noah. It took over 100 years to build that ark. And a lot of people ridiculed, laughed, and judged him. But they weren't laughing after the rain began to come down. And you need to be building your ark right now because it is about to storm. I want to share a few articles with all of you this morning before I head out. And I think everybody pretty much watching this video, at least 98% of you, realize that we're in very big trouble. And yet there are people out there that believe that they're not going to be affected by this collapse. Many people think that, oh, I'm prepped, I have plenty of food and water and assets, and I won't be affected. There's no way that you will not be affected by this when you have tens of millions of people completely unprepared for this. Maybe hundreds of millions of people not prepared for this. When you have people going hungry, destitute, desperate, angry, you're going to have big problems. And so to believe or think that you're not going to be affected by this because you're 100% prepared, you think you are, when you have hundreds of millions of people who aren't, those people are going to affect you one way or another because of their unpreparedness. TheEconomicCollapse.com. 4 really big names that are warning that major economic disaster is ahead. This was a really good article, Michael Snyder's website, TheEconomicCollapse.com. Elon Musk says he has a super bad feeling about the U.S. economy. We talked about this a couple days ago. He's reducing his workforce at Tesla. What does this mean? Is this another bellwether to where this economy is going? Rapper Cardi B said on Sunday publicly that the U.S. economy is about to enter a recession. She said, when y'all think they're going to announce that we are going into recession? Even Cardi B sees the writing on the wall, and I'm absolutely no fan of hers, but I mean, even Cardi B sees it. Rob Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he says this: do you have a plan B? We are in the biggest bubble in world history, he says. Bubbles in stocks, real estate, commodities, oil, you name it. He says, possible depression and hyperinflation. Think about that. Heading into a possible depression mixed with hyperinflation. He says his plan is this. His plan B, stay out of the stock market, gold, silver, and be your own asset. Have a skill set, he says. As I sit here this morning, if you don't have gold, you don't have silver, go to my link down below, SD Bullion, fantastic company. A lot of people ask me daily, literally, for a recommendation. SD Bullion, link down below. And I don't care if you buy gold and silver, if you don't buy gold and silver. I don't care where you get it at, as long as it's a reputable company. SD Bullion, I've been dealing with SD Bullion for over 3 years. Very reputable, very competitive on price, quick deliveries, and they're the only ones I've bought gold and silver from in the last 3 years. So great company. Again, you don't have to buy from SD Bullion. You don't have to buy gold or silver. I don't care. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing and where I think the smart money is going. And gold sales have been absolutely ridiculous, record breaking. So you got to ask yourself, if you're not buying some gold or silver, are you just piling up cash? Is that, I mean, is that really the only place you should be in? Are you buying into these Ponzi schemes? I personally believe, and this is me personally, I don't give financial advice. The only place I'm putting money right now is in gold, silver, cash, and of course, most of you know I'm looking at ranches, farms in the South. And so it's going to be land, it's going to be gold, it's going to be silver, and it's going to be cash. And people can write me and tell me I'm missing out on how much money they're making in the stock market. Yesterday didn't look so great. Futures down this morning. Who knows? Market Dow could be up 500 points today. I don't really care because there's a major disconnect. The economy has already collapsed, ladies and gentlemen. You must be protecting yourself. And I think you have to own real things, and you have to be able to get to those real things, to that cash, to that gold, to that silver, quickly. Don't put it in a bank, ladies and gentlemen. Kim.com said, and this was very interesting. I don't know much about Kim.com. Maybe you do, but this was in the article. U.S. total debt with unfunded liabilities right here in the U.S. is $259 trillion. He said if you minus all U.S. assets, which is $193 trillion. That's what we have in assets here in the US. The balance, after you take all those assets against the debt, the balance comes out to $66 trillion after every asset in the US is sold off. He says the US is beyond bankrupt. The patient is already dead. The patient is now a zombie. I mean, it's startling what we are facing right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is really, really startling. Market watch. Inflation is coming for middle-class households as higher prices hit big box stores. Will they cut back on discretionary purchases? I don't think they're going to have a choice, in my opinion. And we're coming to a point now where people are going to have to make a choice. Are they going to go shopping at Macy's for a new shirt and a new jacket, or are they going to buy food and gas? That's where we're heading. People have real serious choices to make now, whether they're going to go out and blow their money on non-discretionary type items, or they're going to put gas in their car and food on their table. And I think we're getting very, very close to that right now. Housing wealth gains a record $1.2 trillion, but there are signs that the market is cooling off. This on CNBC. This, to me, is scary. The nation's so-called tappable equity stood at $11 trillion, twice the peak of 2006. Everybody feels rich, very rich, house rich. Their property went up 20, 30, 40% in the last couple years. And people, even though they may not even have any savings, they may have a lot of credit card debt, auto debt, student loan debt, but they have equity in their homes, so they feel okay, they feel good. Even though they have a lot of debt, the house has gone up in value and they feel rich, even though they have debt. Average homeowner has $207,000 in tappable equity right now. And the real scary thing here is how quick that equity can be vacuumed right out of the housing market in the blink of an eye. That equity can be cut in half. People can go upside down in their homes. People are using their homes as ATMs, doing cash out refis to buy the RVs and the boats. And, we have people still acting like nothing's wrong. And they look at you like you're nuts, but they pulled out $300,000 in cash out of their home ATM, which they don't realize they have to pay back. What happens when the equity in that home gets vacuumed out and they took a $300,000 loan out of the house doing a cash out refi? These people are in big trouble and they don't even know it yet, but they're going to find out sooner than later, I believe. We are going to see so many people upside down in their homes, so many people who are going to pay the price for doing those cash out refis to buy the second and third home, to buy the RVs, to buy the sand rails, to buy the toys, to take the vacations, to put in the swimming pool, the outdoor kitchen, whatever. People took this money out of their homes believing that the housing market was always going to go up. It was going to go up forever. And it wasn't that long ago that we had a massive housing crash in 2008 and an electronic run on the banks where trillions of dollars was pulled out of the banks within hours. And if it wasn't for the Fed firing up those printing presses, you would have seen gold go much, much higher. You would have seen housing prices go much, much lower. But they hurried up and put a big Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. And I guess everybody thought that we were never going to have to pay the piper, that all that money printing from 2008, we haven't even paid it back. We are now just beginning to see a festering problem caused by the bailout of 2008 on top of the trillions of dollars we added on the debt over the years. And of course, 0% interest rates, all the FOMO, everybody telling you to just buy things with money you don't have, get into these markets. Market's going to go up forever. Housing market's going to go up forever. Buy bonds. We are going to see something that is going to be shocking. It really is, ladies and gentlemen. The hedge, inflation will price many Americans out of housing and into homelessness. You know, when I talked about homelessness, did videos on it a couple years ago, nobody thought that this was possible. Nobody's going to go homeless. We're never going to see a depression. We'll never see a recession. We're never going to see runaway inflation. Average cost of a home now in the U.S., average cost $428,000. The average American makes not even $50,000. $50,000 or less. And the average home is $428,000. Nearly half of Americans don't make enough to maintain a one-bedroom rental. Comment down below, are home prices going to come down? Are they going to go up? Will they remain steady? Or are they going to come down? What's going to happen? I truly believe they're going to come down because I'm watching it happen right now. We're going to have an influx of inventory. Mortgage rates are going to blow past 6% this summer. People continue to say that there's going to be no more rate hikes. No rate hike coming in June. No rate hike in July. No rate hike in September. We're going to see a rate hike in June, July, September. Get ready. And you're going to see the 30-year fixed mortgage rate blow past 6% this summer, without a doubt. In fact, I believe that the 30-year fixed rate will go above 6% sometime in June. We'll see how it plays out. I believe housing's coming down. You know where I stand. I believe it's going to crash. And this is why I say keep your powder dry. Be patient. Big things are going to happen. I think this has got to be the worst possible time in history to ever buy a house. That's just my opinion. Individual income tax payments on pace to reach record level. My question to all of you is, where is the money going? How come the federal debt continues to balloon out of control when they are raking in more tax revenue from the average American, the taxpayer? Where is the money going? How come conditions and infrastructure in America continues to fail? Where is the money going? I guess it's going everywhere but where it needs to go. Again, we have a massive spending problem here in the U.S. The harder you work, the more they take, and they send it all over the world. And that money is not going to where it needs to go, which is right here. It needs to be helping people here. It needs to be going into infrastructure. We need to be building factories. We need to be manufacturing. We need to be lowering taxes. I mean, this thing is a runaway train that is off the tracks, and it is going to get ugly. Another article from The Hedge, the great robo placement. Workforce robot orders jump 40% in first quarter. They're going to eliminate a lot of jobs, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of jobs. A lot of people are going to find out in the next year or two that they're not needed. And it's so important right now to get a skill set to really know how to do something, because technology and robotics is going to replace so many jobs. And, you know, the frightening thing is we have so many people coming to America, and we have so many people here right now that are going to need to eat. What are they going to do for work? I have no idea. We're, you know, at some point, we're going to have 400 million people here. And many people are going to have no skills, not know how to do anything. They're going to have to eat. How are these people going to take care of themselves? You got to get a skill set. You got to know how to do things, ladies and gentlemen. You got to really be thinking outside of the box. And this is a marathon. You know, so many people think that this is a sprint. I'm going to buy this and get rich next week. I'm going to buy that and I'll be rich next month. I buy gold, I buy silver, I sit back, I watch this play out. I'm very, very patient. I know a lot of people want me to just go buy a farm tomorrow. but it's not your money, it's mine, and I need a good deal. And when I see what's happening with interest rates, I'm going to sit back and let it play out because I want the best possible deal. And the way I see it is, once rates break 6%, you can kiss the housing market goodbye. And we're probably going above 7. And remember, those people that are paying 5.4% right now for a 30-year, they've got a 750 FICA, they've got 20% down. The average Joe who's got a 650 FICA, 3% down, he's paying 8% right now in a 30-year. So those people are getting priced out. They're not qualifying. All these new homes coming on the market, people who are defaulting, people who are going to be forced to sell their second and third homes. You get the picture. Inventory is building. We're watching it take place right now. Prices are coming down. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to let it play out because I want the best deal possible. So to those people out there who want me to buy a house tomorrow and move to the South, well, I wish I could. If you have a farm for sale in the South, let me know. If it's a really good deal, maybe I'll buy it and move down there. But as of right now, I'm going to let this whole thing play out because I know prices are coming down. I get price reductions daily, but this is just the beginning. What's this going to look like in August, September, October? I think we all know what it's going to look like. And I'm going to finish with this. The food apocalypse that we are watching take place. Now, you saw a couple of my last videos, Walmart, Costco, the ones by my house, stacked to the ceiling with food and supplies. Some people have written me, says, it's not like this where I live. Shelves are much emptier. The shelves can be full today, ladies and gentlemen, but that doesn't mean they're going to be full tomorrow. And those shelves can be wiped out within hours, and I realize that. I also realize that just reading what the farmers are saying right now with what's happening with fertilizer, diesel, laborers, everything across the board, equipment, that they're seeing big trouble. And what they're seeing right now does not even affect the American people for 12 months or more, even 18 months, they said. We know that there's a wheat shortage going on right now, right here in the US and what's happening in Eastern Europe. The fertilizer shortage, diesel shortage, part shortage, chip shortage, tight labor market, you name it. We got big trouble. And so as I leave you this morning, make sure that you are just bulking up your food supplies. I think it's money well spent. And look, I pray to God nothing happens. I pray that I never have to, use that food. I hope I can just donate it to some homeless people. But we should always have a certain amount of food stored away. In case of a natural disaster, a man-made disaster, a financial disaster, whatever it may be, we have to always be prepared because we never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So as I leave you today, take a day this week and go top off supplies and keep the comments coming down below. People are just saying, hey, you need this, you need that, you should add this, you should add that. Gauze, to stop bleeding, that's a very good one. Things of that nature, spices, pepper, salt, baking soda, so keep the comments coming down below because, I'm thinking and I'm like, oh man, I should get more of that, or I should get more of that, or I don't have any of that. So you guys are making some great points, and gals, thank you so much. So many great comments, and it's really opening eyes and making people really think outside of the box, and we have to keep thinking. We must be walking the walk now and being in a mental mindset, preparing ourselves for what is coming. And again, as I leave you, we're going to see some real evil things take place. And this is good and it's versus evil, good versus evil. This is a spiritual warfare. I'll tell you, if you don't believe in Satan and if you cannot see the evil going on right now, you are really, really blind. As they say, when an airplane is crashing, there's no such thing as an atheist, right? And I think a lot of people now are having their eyes open that this is very, very spiritual. It's not just about having gold and silver and some food. It's about getting right with God. And I'm not perfect. I'm no angel. And again, I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not a prophet. But there is something very, very wrong taking place right now. And I know that many of you feel it, sense it, and see it like I do. This does not feel like the same place I grew up in, right? Things have changed. And you are going to have to be self-sufficient. And I believe God is waking up people who are willing to listen. And many are ignoring the warning. These people are going to pay a very, very severe price. Listen to your heart. Listen to your spirit. God is warning every one of you to get ready. This is going to be brutal. This thing's going to last a long time, ladies and gentlemen. And this isn't to scare you. It is to wake you up. But I believe that there is going to be a time of real opportunity here also. But the best way to protect yourself from what is coming is get right with God, get all your preps in order, and thank God for waking you up. And if you're not awake, pray to God that he wakes you up, because he will lead you. And people right now need direction. This country is falling apart financially, spiritually, and morally. And it is time to wake up and get right with God. Because I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, people are really going to suffer. They are really going to suffer. And you are so blessed that God has already woken you up and that you've already begun to prepare. You're miles ahead of the sheep. You're miles ahead of everybody you know. Have a good day. Stay safe. And remember, thank God for another day of life and that he woke you up, because you're going to prosper. You're going to survive. And it's not the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. It's just changing. And we're going to have to adapt and change with it. But there's no reason why we can't prosper at the same time. God bless.